Well, and so good evening, and welcome to our next segment for FSK and our grappling seminars or segments or whichever which you're ready to call it. For the next 2 weeks, we're going to look at slightly different aspects. For the most part, we've been completely on the ground. We're going to start looking at some standing theory at this moment in time. Theory will broadcast into technique, but we'll work on it slowly. So, without too much ado, I would like to once again introduce my helper in all of this, Matthew, who comes always with such great enthusiasm.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway. Now, out of the ordinary when it comes to this, for me, being as I'm 5'6", rarely, except we're working with younger people, and I shouldn't even say younger people, since many of the younger people now are taller than me as well, but rarely are people in this broadcast shorter than I am, and Matthew may not be shorter than me for much longer. However, in this, many times when we start, or you're looking at an opponent, we're in this medium here of needing to, no, we're not striking,
I know,
just grappling, just a joke, huh?
Well, unless you hit me too
Unless
hard.
I hit you back. In controlling the body, either for takedowns or just controlling them standing up. So there are just different aspects we're going to look at. I mean, there are levels of the body. We're going to address that a different night. Tonight I would like to look at some aspects of actually gripping and controlling the body. That may involve a little leveling, but to get into that deeper, I'd like to wait till next week, just for the sake of time and your attention span, and Matthew's as well. Anyway, so without the gi, without the uniform, without having the big collar and a dry surface that's very strong, you're looking at an opponent on the street, in class, in this type of fabric, or a t-shirt or something. This type of fabric will stretch a great deal. So the idea of grabbing it to control my opponent is a bit asinine because I can just keep stretching it. In a regular t-shirt situation or something out in the street, you grab it, you're relying on the strength of that fabric for your grip and for what you're doing. Needless to say, if it rips, and it rips unexpectedly, you can find yourself at a disadvantage quickly. You need to look at objectively what's going to, for the most part, be consistent. For the most part, his arm is consistent. Odds are it's going to be what it is. It is not going to pull out of the shoulder and I'm left holding nothing. If it does, I've got a prosthetic, in which case I hit him with it. Or B, I've done so much damage that I'm probably not going to worry about an opponent. The first, with the prosthetic aids, odds are he's not attacking me anyway, but hey, who knows? Anyway, so we have a person, and the question becomes, and again, rarely am I working with someone smaller than me, but it does happen, what type of grip? Now with the wrist, the beauty of the wrist, of course, is the hand goes around it, it feels like a very good, firm handhold, and it is. Certainly is. I can control, I can switch and drag, I can do many things. So, I have wrist control. Boom, tight, got it. The only thing I say about this, there are pluses and minuses to all of these. The plus, I have very good control. If I know what my next move is and I know where I'm going, this is a very good grip. Very good. The only thing about anything when you cement a grip is at some point you have a restriction of motion. Okay? There is a restriction. So there are two types of grips I like to use. I guess anybody likes to use a closed grip and open grip. Okay? Now, with the open grip, as he moves, I can flow with a very great range of motion. Whereas I can't do that same range of motion with a tight closed grip. Now, again, depending on what I'm doing, you may or may not wish to use one or the other. So we get in the situation where I'm trying to control, to clench, to control this whole body. Can't just control this because all that's still happening. So I still want to control. So the initial drill we usually use standing as a swim drill. So I'm not going to teach Matthew the swim drill, but from this perspective, as we swim, I'm controlling his tricep here and his body, and body to press, to control. Now I can worry him with my head and shoulder. Okay. From this perspective, it's annoying, okay. But I control him. With this, I don't grip here because I can slip. Tricep, control, and a lock. Body control, and again, I can create him, I can make him uncomfortable. When I'm shorter, I'll sometimes even go right up under the chin to really aggravate, because it distracts. It makes his, even though he's shorter than I am, as I worry him, his posture comes up. As his posture comes up, his feet go together. As his feet go together, he becomes a beanpole. Much easier to get rid of him, dump him, drop him. Okay? So I'm using the grips and aggravation to change his posture. But back to it. We're here with the grip. I've got his firm grip. Now, as time goes on, if we're having a match, sweat becomes involved. Now, though this is a firm grip, other grips here become slippery and slide because of sweat. Right now we're both dry. I can get a good grip. My hand is big enough to get a grip because he's a smaller person. People run into problems with this.
Karate cat might come.
Yes. In that sometimes children, women meet with much bigger men. You go to grab a wrist, you cannot get good control, and they'll just spin out. Just twist your hand out. Grab mine. They'll just spin out because you can't hold on to it. It's too big. It's just too big a surface. That's where, and I've tried to get you people in class to look at this open grip system so that you have the contact. You're never losing your point of contact, but I'm flowing. This is more of a flow. This becomes more power. So I flow with that hand until it goes somewhere he doesn't want it to go. And that's when I take advantage of it. So in this case, he's moving that arm around. I'm controlling here. He's trying to get away. That arm is becoming a problem. He's getting frustrated. He puts it in where he didn't want it to go. I just let it go. Come back, just slow that motion down. When he got to here and I felt him moving across, I helped him. Now that arm is out of the way. As I slide up it can't come back. And I step in. My body blocks that arm from coming back. Now we're in a situation. I should say he's in a situation.
Yeah, you're fine.
I'm fine. You're absolutely right. And I would like to stay that way.
Okay.
But this becomes off flowing. Now at the same point with this, the contact points in the elbow and the shoulder can still be locked with this. yes, you can still use the grip. But again, you got some big guys. You get some big arms. If I grab here, my hand is almost open. There's no control there. However, if I lock inside the elbow here with a grip, I've done the same thing as I've done to the elbow. As he moves his arm around and I flow in that, I need to use much less strength. It's hard for him to spin out of that. He can, but he has to make a lot of effort. Once he makes a lot of effort, let's say pulling back out of range, he's opened everything up and that arm is completely out of defense, whereas I'm already inside him. So he pulled that arm back to escape this, he went straight back into it. That's what I'm looking for with this, to make his mistake. Okay? Now, once again, you can flow. Now, rarely, again, I talk about opponents being shorter than me, but here I also like this grip for here to go underneath. So we'll get here, he'll bring this arm up. This is great. Once again, I help him. And I'm inside again. Once this arm is under my chin, I have a lot of control. So again, I would like to be, instead of grabbing here, to be here, I let that flow up, and I'm up and under. He's not in any real distress, but he's tapping now, and to be honest, it's just like squishy. Anyway, oh, you'll live. Again, an open grip. And again, with this, I get to help him. Now, it's not to say I can't do it with a closed grip. Look, a tricep control here, double hand, to yank, absolutely, all day. I'm not speaking against it. It works great. That's control. Here, we get an arm drag situation. Again, I transition into that tricep, tear across the body. My point is the situation works for both, open and closed. The reason I'm starting to look more at the open is just for the sake of not totally cementing my grip until it's necessary. It's the old Bruce Lee thing. This is water, this is ice, okay? Water, 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 ice. Sorry, not exactly Bruce Lee, but BSR. Dave Arnold was here, he would be right there with me. But, so I'm water, I'm flowing like water until it's time to not flow. I'll be here. I like to control, come around, that whole wizard mentality.
Oh, that's hurting.
That's hurting.
Yeah.
Because I take both arms
Okay, okay, okay.
and cross. Now I grab his tricep, I have the other arm.
Ow.
You're gonna live.
That's a nasty one.
It's a pain, yes. Okay. Most of this technique can be done the same way on the ground to control, except I'm looking at controlling it here. Now you start to navigate the body. So again, as he starts to move, and I feel him trying to grab hold of me, I'll control both arms this way. Now I start to play with it. I'll control. I'm opening it further just to exaggerate it. I would normally keep it right around him. So he's coming back. Okay?
Okay.
Come back up. You're trying to grab me. With this, I can redirect his force a little quicker. When I'm ready, now I see him rotate his hip and push. Good. Now my grip can become strong and twist. Then I can flow again. It's open and closed grip, but it's to get beyond just the point of everything
Ow.
having to be a clutch. If this is your clutch and you're always using strength, you will delay, unless you're used to it, letting go at the proper time. So you need to get into an aspect of open and close flow as you need. Even the head. If you control it and don't have a good plumb and you're here and he postures up and you're just anchored and you got a big guy and you refuse to let go, you have to flow. So I like this to flow until it's time to grip. So again, try and come in. So again, as he pushes straight, obviously at this point, this is when we would start to use footwork to dodge out, to reshift his weight. He's not big enough to push me. I can push him back. But lots of guys are huge. So for the sake of this, I'm just going to release a little strength and let him move. So as he shifts, I just want to take him whichever way.
No, squeeze.
I wasn't going to squeeze. I'm just going to spin you around, pup. Is this how JJ learned? This is how JJ learned. So dance, pup. Dance, little monkey, dance.
Okay.
We're not, if you're going to start punching,
I don't know what to do.
all you're trying to do is grab him. That's all you're trying to do. Just grab him around the waist. Just trying to exert force. And again, with this, I don't need the harsh grip. I'm expending very little energy as he moves. As I feel his weight shift into me, I'm just going to use the open grip to control. But I'm going to keep my point of contact every single time. I do not want to lose my points of contact. What's that?
I think they get it.
You think they get it?
Yeah.
I'm having fun bouncing him around though. Please, send your vote if you care to see me bouncing some more. Anyway. So, close grip. Okay? More of an open grip. We are obviously having a slight meeting of the pack. Lucy, come here. And sit.
Miko?
Say hello.
Miko, sit.
And Miko. These are two of our pack. We're apparently not going to leave us now because, well, we don't know why. Anyway. So to recap very quickly. The idea is to get away from totally doing this or totally keeping open. The idea is to ebb and flow. As you need them. But you should get used to this idea. Okay? If you have someone at home who will just give you 5 minutes and just let you, you don't have to, again, be powerful. It's just an idea of, that's all, just get used to this motion. Because you have the points of contact, you have the ability to feel, and you have the ability to control. So, next week we're going to look at trying to take this to control the body and the levels of the body and what happens along the way. Okay? Very simplistic lesson for tonight. However, one that I think is significant along the way. It's something to build on. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoy. We'll talk next week. Thank you very much. Bruce. Another country heard from.